Now, give the stream a moment to catch up because there's a however many second delay.
Not this long.
Okay. Am I coming through?
Not this long.
Yep. All right, we're coming through. So, welcome to Discussions in Filmland, Episode 5. Today, we are discussing The Town That Dreaded Sundown with the Ghouls of Midnight, DJ Anubis, and Mr. Tony of the Dead. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So, for those that don't know, The Town That Dreaded Sundown is a 1976 movie that's both a horror film and a true crime story based on the real-life Texarkana Moonlight murders and the Phantom Killer. Hello, Olvin.
What's up?
Who killed five people during the year of 1946 in the town of Texarkana, which is a border town, and there's Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas. So this was a case that had like multiple police departments from multiple states investigating it, and they never found the actual guy, or there's something too I'll get to in a minute, but that's the basic premise. It's a killer on the loop that was actually on the loose in a border town. So, first question, and we'll start with Mr. Tony of the Dead. When was your first exposure to this movie?
Probably whenever Scream Factory first put it out, to be honest. I had never heard of it before that. And yeah, I don't remember what I thought of it back then. I think I thought it was like kind of cool. I also remember Marianne being in it from Gilligan's Island. That's about all I remembered. and I did remember the ending. That was about it.
Mm-hmm. And DJ Anubis, when was your first exposure to this film?
Well, I've always known about them, like just through, because they're generally on Tubi and a lot of free streaming sites a lot of times. But watching it in full, like that didn't happen until last night. So that was the first time I've actually sat down with it. I think I attempted to watch it a couple times, but just either got distracted and went to something else. Because this is one of those films where it's just a little uneven. So like, unless you're just like focused on it, you have to kind of stick with it. But yeah, last night was the first time I checked it out.
You kind of do have to be like in a certain headspace to stick with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
As for me, I first heard about it back in the 90s. It was briefly mentioned in Scream, and I had never seen it. Then one night around 2016, 2017, somewhere around there, it was a night I couldn't sleep and the movie just popped in my head, and I'm like, I'm going to look it up on YouTube and just find out what the movie's about. And someone had a full upload on there, so I just put it on my phone and watched it. And even, the movie's a little uneven in places, and we'll get to that. It was something I had a good time with. But we initially, in the beginning, we get a setup for the film that this is a small town in the post-war years, and it talks about the post-war optimism. And we see a shot of these feet walking, which becomes a reoccurring theme through a few scenes because they never found who the Phantom Killer was. So this is a good way to show it could be anyone. And then we get our first attack scene where he attacks a couple at Lover's Lane. Only these two, he killed 5 people, and these 2, fortunately for them, weren't one of them. And we do get a haunting image of this woman like crawling towards the road and getting found. And I do feel like this was a strong start to the film.
Yeah. So my question a little bit here is because initially the first 2 victims survived. So the one thing I can kind of appreciate about what the movie's trying to do is it really kind of makes the killer not so supernatural, not so crazy. Like it's actually kind of like a real dude that's just kind of going around. He's getting lucky, avoiding detection from the cops. But he also starts out by basically assaulting the girlfriend and her boyfriend. But then like it progresses to the point where he actually starts killing them in the end. Like even gets to a point where he's using like a silencer or something on his gun. So like it's pretty wild that his motivation gets darker and darker as we go along.
Yeah, it is.
I never thought of that. Yeah.
What's interesting, like some of the research I did for the actual one of the witnesses did say he was wearing what looked like a pillow sack, so this is believed to be accurate. But one of the things, like, I guess you can say interesting about this particular attack is both survivors gave slightly different accounts. And it is true when he mentioned, I didn't know it was based on a true story. The movie and true story match up. The story happened in real life. Yeah, there's some good documentaries on it on YouTube. But I was saying, like, some of the like contradictory information they gave, and even the fact when he's like, I think you got the wrong guy. Like, it was believed this was some kind of prank at first, but the man, he said the killer was white and the woman thought he was African American. Plus, there was very little physical evidence, so this was kind of written off as like a one-off thing.
Mm-hmm.
He does kind of look like he could be, African American in the one part. Like his arm does look like it's. I know it's like nighttime, but it does kind of look like it is, and then sometimes he looks like he could be white, like you could see under his eyes. But whatever he is, he's menacing. That's for damn sure.
And the stunt performer, what a good job he did. Like when you see like the close-ups of his eyes, you can see so much menace in them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, like I said, with the way that the filmmaker made it, even towards the end when they're finally chasing him and he's like jumping off like a train or something, or off a large ledge, like he fought, you feel like he's actually human. Like there's no supernatural element to it. So it's like, oh, they have a real chance of catching this guy because he's not just gonna like get away, even though he does. But the reality is that it makes you feel like you're just dealing with like a real human being, not like Michael Myers, not like Jason. It's a real dude.
Yeah. That's the only thing I don't like is that he uses a gun.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really does. In fact,
yeah. Except we got 2 holes. Well, and this came out way before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could have played an influence. Yeah. And the whole thing.
They got the influence from Night of the Axe. That's what it was.
And him using the gun, that was also like accurate. The Phantom Killer did use a gun too.
Oh yeah, I mean accuracy to the actual killings, and that's fine. But I just don't like my killers with a gun. I guess it's not a. I don't know. I couldn't think of the word for it earlier. It's like there's no style, I guess.
Well, yeah, because I mean, most of what he's doing is very menacing and brutal, especially with the women. But when he starts going to the gun, you're just kind of like, does it really match what they've been setting up the entire time? I just kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
And let's talk too about like the attack scenes with the killer. Like these scenes are just they feel so much more graphic than they really are.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have this like frantic, desperate panic energy to it, and some of that is the cinematography. Why I think the director Charles B. Pierce, at times he could be a little hit or miss. He knows how to frame a scene really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all pretty gruesome scenes, that's for sure.
Who wants to continue the film?
Not me.
Well, I'll just say that, like, you're starting out, and he assaults a couple of people on Lover's Lane. The police. Can we say the police don't know how to drive their own fucking cars? Can we just put that out there?
Yes, we can.
Especially
How many times I watch those guys run off the fucking road into the fucking dirt?
Especially this guy right here.
Yeah.
Is it? What was his name?
Sparkplug.
Sparkplug.
Yeah, Sparkplug. I'm like,
he is my favorite idiot, though.
He's like Barney. It's like, Jesus Christ.
That's the director of the film.
Oh, really?
Is it really?
That's fucking great.
That is cool.
But yeah, so you've got the police force, and they're trying to like start figuring stuff out, but they can't drive worth a shit. The other thing it threw me off about this film, and I think it hurt the film, even though it probably wasn't the intention, because what year did this come out? 76. Some of the soundtrack doesn't match like what should be happening because it seems too upbeat. And so that throws me off. Whenever I've got a movie I'm watching, it's supposed to have tension, and then there's like this upbeat music.
Yeah.
I'm like, this does not match with what's going on here. So that kind of threw me off a little bit too. But so the cops, they're trying to like figure this out early on, like what's going on with this couple that was attacked. The women that were in this film did a really good job of selling the trauma and the violence that was up against them. So I thought that was a really good job on their part. So that they do get, like, I think the first girl was in the hospital. They were visiting, trying to talk to her a little bit about what happened, but because no one could really see his face. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think when he attacked that first couple, he opens up the hood, and I guess he just rips the spark plug cables out or something, like, so he can't take off.
I think it was some cables from the distributor cap.
Yeah. So I was like, at first I thought, is he going to try to, like, because, the funny fact that he used like a gun later, I fully expected him to have like a shotgun to start this film. I thought he was going to blow like a scene from Maniac and just like, blast the fucking windshield. But all he did was like pull the spark plugs. Yeah. And then what the boyfriend's like, yeah, you got the wrong dude. You got the wrong.
And he's still trying to start the car.
Right.
Feel like it ain't going nowhere without the distributor cables.
But yeah, the killer seems to have like a grudge against women, particularly because he bites them like in different areas on their bodies. And, I forget, the guys generally just get roughed up or whatever, but he's got like a big axe to grind with the girls. No pun intended, Tony.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. You thought that was a spark plug, and he doesn't like women, and the guy calls himself Spark Plug. He has a problem with that woman on the phone right away. He's dressed as a woman and hates it, obviously.
And what the guy that he was working with was trying to hit on him. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
We'll get to that part in a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like they took two different movies and just put them like this.
Yeah, I felt like the director, he knew that some of this was heavier. So even though I like it, I'll admit the humor is a bit over the top at times for the film. I feel like he wanted to add some levity into the film, but he just went too much with it.
Yeah.
It's like a horror comedy, but it's not a horror comedy. You know what I mean? Like it's horror and it has some comedy to it, but it's not supposed to be like a Killer Tomatoes type of movie.
From the research I did, a lot of the events, and I'll talk more about some of them as we get there, is somewhat close, but there are things that are exaggerated, like the next killing where we have this character here where he finds the parked car in one of the worst looking day for night scenes ever.
Yeah.
That was actually someone else that found the parked car with the dead bodies. It wasn't the police officer, but this was an interesting scene. He thinks he finds the car, he hears the gunshots, and knows the killer's on the loose, and I'm there like, why don't you shoot the dude's tire out now so he can't get away and just wait, or take a knife and slash it and just wait for him to come back?
Right.
Yeah.
But this is where they find out that there is a killer on the loose. And I should also add, with the kind of loose, how it's accurate but not really, there was what was believed to be a storm the morning after the killing. It was believed to have happened late at the night, and there was a storm early morning because both bodies were found in the car, and it was believed he killed them in one place because there's some evidence, and that he put them in the car. Plus, I believe they found 38 shell casing at this crime scene.
In real life.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But this scene, I do feel like the whole, it's clearly not nighttime, drags it down, but I don't know about you guys, but I do like the framing of it being during the rainstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost has like and I don't know if it influenced because it was obviously when did the real tragedy happen?
1946.
Okay, so it's weird because even though this is based off of a very old event, the movie itself, like some of it plays out almost like Son of Sam type stuff, like where he's trying to hurt people on certain days, like like the 21-day rule and all that. So it's very interesting how that's very similar.
Now that you meant, there are some parallels between the case this guy struck Lover's Lanes and the Son of Sam shot up couples that were in their cars.
Right.
Okay, thoughts on this scene?
I think it's good. The funny thing is, I don't know this actor. I know I see his name there, but
yeah,
I swear he looks almost like maybe a younger version of James Woods in some ways to me. I kept thinking, is that James Woods? And it's not him, but I just kept thinking that was the first person I was thinking. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him before and I can't place it. I should have looked it up, but I didn't. But he feels like he's a likable character. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a laid back kind of guy.
Good choice for the role.
Yeah.
He looked like a cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from that angle, now that you mentioned, he does kind of have a resemblance to James Woods.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find his name.
I think it's Andrew Prine, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him. The picture they have him older, but yeah, it looks a lot like him.
Yeah, but look, he was a good character to set the film around. And I do love, after this, it's probably my favorite part in the movie because the music, the goofy stuff doesn't fit, but that eerie music that plays at the beginning and the end, I feel is really great for this film.
Yeah.
And like, I love the scene with the narrator too, and I don't know who they got for the narrator, but this narrator also, I feel, really sold the tension.
Yeah, that's really sort of what is unique about the film, is that it does attempt to treat it as if the narrator's recalling all the events from what happened there, and so they're treating it like almost like a documentary in some ways.
Yeah.
Also, like, I love in the scene where he's talking about how the town has been changing and that guns are selling out, in that people are wondering if they're next, and that during daytime Texarkana looked normal, but everyone dreaded sundown.
Yeah.
It really just sold the tension. And again, it's a theme I love of that town engulfed by fear and what a traumatic event can do to a small town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like boarding up their windows, and at first they're just closing their curtains, and then later on they're boarding up their windows and stuff. It's like, it was always like, oh, that's out on the highway, and then it's like when that happened closer, it's like everybody started freaking out. Crazy.
Eventually, they bring in a Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the real guy's full name, but his last name was Gonzalez, where in this it was J.D. Morales. And who wants to talk about him a little?
Oh, he was a great character too.
Yes. Yes.
But like, again, they made them so goofy. But I don't know. Some of the music, if they didn't play goofy music with it, some of it might not come off as dumb. Like good old boys type of stuff. It's like you're watching like Dukes of Hazzard.
Good old boy.
Right? Yeah. But like yeah, I just thought he was a good character. I thought all the police matched who they all look like they should be police officers and stuff, even if they were like the comedic part between him and Sparkplug or not him. Yeah, him and Sparkplug and the other guy in Sparkplug, and the way these two mesh together, especially like toward the end. But even though this guy's a terrible shot, oh my god,
yeah,
pew! Oh, hey. Phew. But at the same time, I don't want to cut too, why was he standing there like that? That's all I'm going to say. Like, he's like,
yeah, that shot at the end.
Yeah, come on.
Well, actually, I got something about that one when we get to it.
Yeah, I like this guy, this character too. And he's another one I probably seen him somewhere and I can't place it off the top of my head.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Ben Johnson.
I will say the actual Gonzalez, the actual Texas Ranger, like, he wasn't very liked in the beginning. Like, this guy kind of had a questionable reputation. Like, he would purposely fight suspects, and he was kind of known for being a bit of an attention whore. Like, when he got on the case, he insisted on exclusively addressing the media. He would rarely leave the station, and when he would address the media, he was actually giving facts that they were wanting to withhold from the public for the sake of the investigation. So where the movie gives, and it works for the movie, where it gives this kind of perception that these police officers were this real cohesive unit.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes in real life, like, things weren't going so smoothly, and no one really liked this guy. But I do like the changes they made for the movie, because there's enough going on here without the internal strife between the law enforcement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would have totally ruined it, I think, if he was a jerk, like, the whole time.
Yeah, because, like, it's one of those where you actually want to root for the law enforcement. You don't want to have to hate one of the guys trying to catch this person.
That's true.
Okay, now, listen, I am skipping some. I'm just basically going over bullet points here, but we have the next attack, which probably has like one of the most disturbingly standout moments in the film, and it's after a high school prom.
Hmm.
And it's this moment here.
Yeah.
The trombone.
So who wants to talk about this scene?
I was still trying to figure out what did he have something connected to it, like a blade or something, or
He had a
it's
knife.
dark,
He
yeah,
took
so it's
out
hard to
his
see.
knife and tied a wire to it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The whole problem I had with that part, though, is like the way he tied her up. Like no. Like, struggle a little more, and then he like has one arm and walks around this way while her other arm is free. It's like you just follow him around. You can't. He won't be able to tie you up at least. Like I don't know. She had no reason to die.
The way they framed it did kind of look like she made it too easy for him.
Yeah. They needed to cut that or something because that was just bad.
It was a nice setup though, because this one though, there was more where they like tried to get away and he grabbed onto the car door.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy. He's like the whole thing with this scene is it's after the prom and this guy wants to go to their usual spot, and this is the part where I said like all this stuff has been happening on the highway and their usual spots like in town more, so they're going to be safe, and she has to be home by 2:30 in the morning. And it's like okay, and then they go out there and it's like basically a place for kids to go necking, as they call it. And
Right.
then they show them and they don't show anything like that, but he wakes up on her shoulder and it's like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's like 20 to 3 already. Oh my God, I'm going to be late. And he's like, come on, baby, let's stay a little longer. No, I have to go. I'm going to be in trouble. And here he's like, oh, all right, fine. And then like they're going to leave. But the Phantom's like being all creepy outside the car. And he's like backing the car up and he's like behind it. And then he disappears and they're driving and he just shows up on the window and he like opens the door and there's a struggle. And then he ends up pulling the boyfriend out and then it just proof that women can't drive. And she hits into a car or into a tree. And then, and then, they have a big struggle and he beats the shit out of that boyfriend, like pounds him. And she's over there. Oh no, I can't remember his name, but she's like saying like, the boyfriend's name, Bobby, probably, and beats the shit out of him. And he goes and then he does his trombone routine to her and stuff. And end scene pretty much.
As far as the real case goes, like she was actually found over a mile away from the boyfriend or friend.
Wow.
It lists that they were friends, even though if they were in a lover's lane, they were clearly more than friends. But it's believed he fought off the killer to give her a chance to run away.
Right.
And the killer caught up to her. And although there was a stolen instrument involved, it was a saxophone, not a trombone. And it's believed this saxophone was attempted to be sold at a pawn shop in Florida, where the guy came in wanting to sell it. But when the workers like, I'll have to ask the manager, he panicked and left. And the trombone was found somewhere on the other side of the fence at a crime scene sometime after the murder. So the prevailing theory is the killer had planned to pawn the saxophone and realized it was a little too hot of an item, so he just got rid of it.
Oh, wow.
But this
still would have been cool in the movie then, eventually if they found that out.
Yeah.
This, I'm sure you guys will agree, is one of the most tense scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's not just the idea of what he's doing with the trombone, but it's that rage you see in the actor's eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like for whether it's a film like this or a more accurate true crime, whatever or even just a basic slasher, whatever stunt performer you have playing the killer, without saying anything, can do so much to sell the character and bring a lot of character to the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who else, like something else this kind of brought me in mind of, who remembers the Beltway Sniper from 2002?
I do, because I was delivering out that way at the time.
I was going to ask that because I know you live in that region, and I was wondering if you were there, but it was kind of a similar thing where people doing like everyday things were getting killed. And even though I was in New Jersey at the time, like even up there was kind of that nervousness of, that's only a few hours drive from here. How easy would it be for that guy to come up this way?
Yeah, the thing is, like, unlike this killer here, where he clearly had like a specific type of people that he wanted to attack, the sniper was doing it so randomly. It could be anybody. In fact, the area in Bowie that I was delivering in, there was a school there, like a elementary school that I delivered to. Now, I wasn't there that particular time when he shot the kid, but it just shows you that whenever you have someone doing some weird random shit where there's no like method to the madness, and it's just all over the place, like the paranoia that happens drives people crazy. And so, like, even on 9/11, when I was down by the Pentagon that day, like, once that shit happened, I didn't even wait for my bosses to tell me to come back. I was already on my way back to the shop. And so, like, my boss was like, hey, yeah, you better come back. I'm like, I'm way ahead of you. I'm just stuck in traffic. I can't get anywhere because everybody else is trying to get out of DC. So that's the thing, though. Like, when shit like that happens, like, it just, people don't know how to react to it. And especially when it's so random. Here you have this guy that's killing people, and it's like, the main people he's killing are people that like lovers on Lovers Lane and stuff. So, obviously parents are probably like, don't go out. There's a curfew, all this other stuff. So it just drives people crazy when it happens like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really one thing, even what he was doing, this is really no two ways about it. It's terrorism because it's disrupting the normal everyday life.
Yeah.
Like when you're afraid to just step outside of your house after a certain time. And it should obviously be noted, like, we take all the forensic investigative technology for granted nowadays. Back when this was happening, like, I'm not even sure blood identification was a thing. Like, you basically just had fingerprints.
Yeah.
So a skilled killer just would have to dress to cover up their skin, wear a pair of gloves, and it would be very hard to figure out who this person is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you were caught back then, you must have been sloppy. Because, like,
yeah,
it must have been so. I'm sure there's a way, probably so many that we don't know about that people got away with it. But it's like, there's no cameras. Like, everywhere is a camera nowadays. You can't get away with anything. That's amazing if people do.
And, like, realistically too, the getup they gave the killer, like, it's everyday clothing.
Yeah.
The guy, especially back then and in a lot of places back now, you wouldn't think nothing if you seen a guy with a knife and a gun wearing just a jean jacket and pants, and the guy could just have a mask hidden in a pocket for when he does his killing. So it does really sell that fear that this guy could be anyone.
Yeah.
And eventually we get to one of the, trying to think, and we do see like a lot of stuff go on. Like there's a reward out and there's tips which do lead to a lot of dead ends. But since we mentioned this guy and what happened before the murder, we had a scene where they sent a bunch of cops out on decoys to dress. Some of them were dressed as men, some of them were dressed as women, and old Sparkplug volunteered not knowing he was going to be one of the women.
Yeah.
They gave him all sorts of grief about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, stuff like that is believable that it could happen, but it's like they're just, for that kind of sting operation, it's like you guys are just being a little too obvious.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, if there's a huge uptake in people on Lover's Lane, the guy's gonna know something's up here.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably be pretty obvious to see. I mean, they all look the same too. So it was like, if they're all like sitting in cars on Lover's Lane and every woman looks the same, like they didn't show that, but like just picture that. It's probably like, yeah, okay, guys. Probably laughed under that mask.
I've probably seen him like, I know that you've probably seen one of the cars and like, yeah, that's a setup.
Yeah, yeah.
But they did that as well as they naturally had a reward, and there were like a lot of false tips coming in. Like, there was one man who, sometime after the killing stopped, had ended his own life, and he left a note where he confessed to being the Phantom Killer. But when they did the research, he was accounted for some of the killings, so it was just a false deathbed confession.
Oh.
But listen, anyone watching, and you guys too, like, if you get a chance, like, look up some research on like the real crimes. It's actually fascinating, and it's interesting to see where this movie took created liberties. It's kind of sort of fairly accurate, but not really. It's true to the spirit, but it does take some liberties to at least try and make the movie more interesting, which, you know, it's a film you really got to do that in some cases. It's hard just to do a one-to-one. This is a 100% historically accurate film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But next we have, the next major event we have is the home invasion. Yeah, who wants to take this one up?
Go ahead, Tony.
Well, this is on Mary Ann, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he now the Prowler's making his way into town, and if I'm saying this right, there was Mary Ann. Well, I don't remember her name of the character or anything, but like the one who plays Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island, she's like getting her hair, she's fixing her hair at night, and the husband's reading a newspaper, and she just like, you know, did you hear that? Do you hear it's like somebody's walking? And he's like, no, I don't hear anything. And next thing you know, the Prowler shows up behind him in a window, and he shoots the guy in the head. Well, in the neck, like down, like in the back of the neck. She hears it and comes in and sees him. She's like, ah, and she like tries to like, and the Prowler like comes in and like that's the one scene where I think you showed her, didn't you? Where it was like, or maybe I'm thinking, I thought maybe you showed a clip from it, but we get that scene where it's like it's like probably the most known, scariest scene to me in the movie, and he shows up at the back screen and it's like, oh my god, and he like shoots her, and he like shoots her in the face.
Either. Yeah, go through her cheek, I think.
Yeah, and it's like, oh shit, and then he breaks in and he shoots. She tries getting away, and he shoots again, and it looks like he shoots her in the head because the blood goes on the back of the thing, and she falls down, and she's crawling away, and then the husband's like kind of still alive, but not, and then I can't remember what happens there. Like, does he do something to the husband again, Or did he just die?
He
I
just
think
died.
he died.
He just
I
died.
think he got shot like right in the back of the neck towards the head. I
Yeah.
think.
I will get more of the real crime in a few, but
Then she crawls out.
The first shot went through the cheek and came out her ear, and the second shot broke her jaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the way it looked like it went. She went, oh, like that. And it looked like it was like, I just thought, oh, they didn't show it into her head. It just, squib in the back of the head. But she's crawling and she crawls out and makes it out into the yard and everything. And the neighbor comes, I guess, I can remember the neighbor heard her or something. And he came out with a shotgun. And then I guess the prowler was like happy with it. He thought she was dead. And he kind of goes away. And then the next thing you know is like she's in the hospital. And like you hear that the narrator talk about what happened after that, right?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
So there you go.
I would say, as like intense as this scene was, like the one thing I did find distracting was partway through the eye holes got a lot bigger.
Did they? I didn't notice. His breathing got more intense. That's
he was
for
probably
sure.
telling the director, like, I can't fucking see through this shit.
That's obviously what it was. It was probably just hard enough to see, and he's like, probably put his foot down and said, "We cut bigger eye holes out, or I walk."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna kill myself out here doing this. Come on.
Also, what makes this like seem like extra scary is the home is one of those boundaries that's supposed to be sacred.
Yeah.
And this is a violation of that.
Oh yeah. 100%.
The real woman, like what her surviving is really more impressive, and just how a testament to how tough this woman was. Because not only did she crawl away and get to a neighbor, but it was two neighbors. They loaded her up into a vehicle and drove to the hospital. And she reached into her broken jaw, ripped out a gold tooth, and tried to give it to one of them as payment for helping her.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's a badass lady.
Yeah,
that's dedication right there.
Ouch.
Just think that you take one shot to the cheek that comes out your ear. The second shot breaks your jaw. You crawl who knows how long to a neighbor's house, thinking you could be killed at any second. And then your next thought is, let me thank this person and rip out my gold tooth to pay him.
Right.
I may die, but at least I'll still have my manners.
Yeah. Also, there was almost a fire at the crime scene because her husband was a farmer, and she had set a heating pad up for him before going to bed. And when the police got to the house, the chair had actually caught fire because of the heating pad. But fortunately, they were able to put it out before it ruined the house and the crime scene.
Oh my God.
Just imagine how much worse that could have really gone for her. And I know after losing your husband, the house is the last thing you care about. But if the cops didn't get there when they did, just imagine that on top of everything. Ma'am, we're sorry to tell you the house burnt down.
Yeah.
I know she would have rather had her husband than the house, but at least this way she didn't have to worry about, I got nowhere to go to after I get out of the hospital.
Yeah. You lost your husband, you don't need to lose the home too.
Yeah, but miraculously, thankfully, the real woman did make a full recovery, and judging by the things she did, I don't think you could have killed that woman with a rusty chainsaw.
Don't sound like it.
And we talk about some of the comedy being off place in this film. You know the part where it shows after this and how they intensify, and there are all these calls, and we see a woman calling, and it's a cat in a trash can.
Yeah.
Those events actually happened during the crime.
Oh, wow.
where someone would hear a ruckus, think it's the killer. The police would investigate, and it was a cat in a trash can. One of the Texarkana police officers was even on record stating the paranoia had gotten so bad. Everyone, men, women, and even children were carrying firearms during the day.
Wow.
And at like nighttime, whenever they would investigate a call, they would have to show up with their sirens blaring so they wouldn't be shot being mistaken for the Phantom.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and like it, and that's the kind of like, especially in a small town, the type of fear this thing could have stirred up. We got to keep in mind, back when this happened, I mean, the real crime, and of course the movies taking place, this was a time when people still slept with their doors open.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have air conditioning, so you'd go to bed, shut the screen doors, all the windows and doors would be open. And now there's people, like you mentioned, first they were putting the shutters down, and now they're boarding up their house at nighttime.
Yep. I mean, look at this. Look at the door he broke in. It was just a screen.
Yeah. How much simpler times were back then. But
look at her phone too. Remember, she had to crank it for the 911 for the operator. Not even 911. It was just the operator.
Yeah, you would dial the operator, then give the code for who you want to be patched over to.
I don't know if that operator could have she's like answered, and then she screamed, and he's like, "Hello, is someone there? Like, did you hear the scream, lady? Get the cops." Well, I'm forgetting what year it is again. We can't trace the call. Trace the call on your Morse code.
Had this happened today, like, this guy probably would have been caught inside of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Probably that night.
He would have got caught, like I said, with the Ring camera on the neighbor's camera.
Now,
there would have been like choppy, like.
I'll say there was also some debate as to whether or not this actually was the Phantom, because this wasn't his proper MO, and there was a prevailing theory that maybe it was someone that had anything against them, but their friends, family, and neighbor all stated they had no enemies. But that's another interesting historical note to bring on to. And like, now we do have more, we see more about the false calls, and we have another scene where cops can't drive for nothing, and this clown drives a car into the lake.
Yeah.
I liked how Gonzalez was like, "What is it with you guys? It's either full blast on the pedal or just a full stop. There's no in between."
It was kind of the like chemistry between these two was funny.
Oh yeah.
Like, the director, like, he does, I wouldn't say he's a grade A actor, but he does have like great comedic timing to him.
I think so, yeah. What when somebody put a sign up there telling me that the road ends? Spark plug. Shut up.
Like, don't you live here, Sparkplug?
Yeah. I don't think he lives here or I don't think he's on planet Earth sometimes.
Yeah. Which, another like cool fact is this film was actually shot at Texarkana, so it was shot in the community this actually took place in.
I wonder if they liked or hated that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Can you imagine like how creepy this film had to have been if you were alive during the events of the killing, then you're sitting there watching this in theater?
Yeah.
And I believe he was born and raised in Texarkana.
The director?
Yeah, so this, like, it's become a town, obviously a town legend, local folklore, so it's something he would have grown up hearing about. So I think it's kind of cool that if this would have inevitably been a movie anyway, but if anyone was going to make the movie, it was someone from the town.
Oh yeah.
But now,
why change? Well, I guess probably budget, right? Like, why change it so much?
yeah. But now we have the leading up to the final scene. We have these two talking in a car, and he admits if we find him, it's going to be a miracle. And they do see a car, and we get some more incidences of the cops in this town can't shoot.
Yeah.
So who wants?
I was just going to say, and he's a Texas Ranger.
Yeah. So who wants to take the next part?
Anubis does.
Well, it's really not much to it other than the fact that they were chasing him down and through some of the forest areas until he gets to like a train, which was weird because, as you said, they were very bad shots, but they did manage to like catch him in the leg at some point. So it's like, he's like caught in the leg, and then he manages they kind of get onto the train. And at first you're kind of thinking, well, they're probably going to catch him, but eventually after the narrator comes back, it's like they explain that, he gets on the train, they just never end up catching him. Even when they try to head him off at the pass, knowing that the train is going to a certain destination, but he's not there when the train gets there. So I do like that, towards the very end, they're like, he was never caught, but then you kind of see people's feet. And then there's this dude with like these shoes that resemble the killer himself, just kind of standing there like he's one of us, he's among us, And so I guess that's sort of like what played into the Blumhouse, like, sequel, whatever it was, how they were going to treat that at the time.
Now, there was an alternate version of this scene.
No, it's not. I just said that there's no way. But this movie, you never know.
But that
would have been entertaining, though.
This scene just lends itself. Well, this scene just lends itself to that so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that a few years ago just as a joke. And did you notice, like, in this scene, if you take it back a little, you see the
oh my god.
Oh yeah. For some reason I thought that was like a gun, but no, it's a camera dude.
Yeah.
I never noticed. Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Listen, I love this film, but I'm not going to pretend there's not some goofy stuff in it.
Oh, there's a lot of goofy stuff in this. That's great. I even when you played it the first time, I just kind of overlooked it. I'm like, must be like some sort of military train. But I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, but like that final shot though, again, can you imagine if you were someone who was lived through the theater, lived through those events and seen it in the theater and seen that final thought? You probably would have let your pants. Now, one more like interesting, there was one person who even though some things don't add up, he's a chief suspect. I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Sweeney. His wife had supposedly admitted he was the killer, and when they caught him, he's like, "Don't shoot me." And the cops like, "Why would we shoot you for a stolen car?" And he's like, told him, we both know you're not after me for a car. But some stuff did come up, like the wife's story started contradicting, and this guy did have multiple offenses for car stealing, and he was on his third strike, and I believe he got life in prison for it. So it's believed because of the lack of evidence, it was kind of a unofficial plea bargain where we give you life, and if you basically, we can't charge you for it, but if you plead guilty to the guilty quietly, we'll just charge you for the car thefts and you won't get the death penalty. But it's debatable whether or not he was actually the Phantom, but it's still an interesting note to add to the story.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That don't sound like that. That don't sound right though. Like if he's really the like, I don't think they would. I don't know. I guess it's like to make people feel like they caught the killer, but like I don't know. I feel like that couldn't. That's too big a secret to be held quiet. You know.
Yeah, but just it's an interesting note. That's why the case is unsolved till today, and there are a lot of theories, but the Sweeney guy being the Phantom is the actual prevailing theory. But that being said, it's just a theory, and at this point it's never going to be solved, so we'll never know.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep.
before final thoughts, since I got it on the screen, how great is this movie poster?
Oh, that's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I just love how you have the image of the town with sundown, and you just have the presence of the Phantom looming over the town. This poster just kind of tells you what you're in for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes me want to check the movie out, for sure. When I first saw it, the cover. I mean,
yeah, same here. So I'm really great. As much as I love Shout Factory's alternate covers, I'm glad they stuck with the original image for this.
Yeah.
Okay, final thoughts on the film. Start with DJ Anubis.
So it's definitely an interesting concept for a film, especially when it got released. It has some, funny moments in it, but for a movie that's supposedly taken something that's based upon a true story and trying to be more serious about it, I think the comedy is unintentional, but again, just some weird things. The music at times is a bit off. But when the music is on and when you get those scenes, like you said, with the trombone and stuff like that, where it's very quite eerie, and the actor portraying the Phantom does a very good job. It actually works. It gives you that early, almost like Michael Myers vibe from Halloween came out 2 years later, and this kind of looks a lot like that early Myers walking in the houses and trying to kill people and stuff. But this is done a little bit different because the guy uses a gun, he uses trombone, all sorts of weird stuff. But overall, I don't even know if this influenced Carpenter and all. Maybe it did, I don't know. But the reality is, though, it's a little bit too disjointed. And so I don't know how many times I would watch this on the norm. This isn't one that I would put as a high rewatchability. But I don't think it's near that. I went and looked at Rotten Tomatoes, and both of them are around 40%. I don't think it's near that bad. I'd put it more around a 6 for me, in terms of 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm somewhat around there. I think that's perfectly fair. And the comedy, there is a bit of tonal whiplash with the comedy. I fully agree.
Yeah.
Tony, your final thoughts?
I remember liking this more the first time I saw it. I don't remember it being so goofy. I don't know why. I don't remember it being so slapstick in a way. But I think the killer is a great look, even though we've seen it with other killers, whether or not this one influenced it or whatever. But either way, not seeing a face at all and knowing who the killer is pretty scary. He's a pretty menacing guy. You could see how he's getting more and more crazy. I mean, like we said, he used a trombone. I don't know. I know it's just in the movie, but that's still pretty crazy. The intensity throughout the movie, but then like we said, the comedy, and it's, I don't know, would some scenes really be so comical if they didn't use the music they used? Like in a car chase scene, we really need like, you know, type of music, like
like
Benny Hill.
how with that scene I edited, how just changing the music completely.
Right. Yeah. So it could it be not as funny as it's not even that it's funny. It's just like off-putting with it, but at the same time I still like the characters. It doesn't mesh together at the same time. But I do like that it's a true story. I like the history, like what you were saying, Anthony, like the real stuff behind the scenes and all that. That was awesome. That's very interesting. But the movie itself, I agree with Anubis. Same thing. I don't think I'd watch this again for a long time, probably. But yeah, I'd probably be right there too with a 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Listen, I like it a little more. I do have a love for this movie, but it's something I do watch a couple times a year, and I actually watched it, rewatched it twice in preparation for tonight. So it's probably going to be a while before I rewatch this. And like you said about not knowing the comedy, noticing the comedy as much the first time, I was the same way, where the first time I was so focused on like the serious parts and the tension that the comedy went over my head. But upon repeated rewatches,
Yeah.
I agree. And even though I do love this film, if I'm being honest, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10 myself. This is one that, even though I love it, if you don't like it, I'm not gonna fight you over it. But I do think like it's a underrated one that more people need to see, because despite the bad, I feel the good does still outweigh the bad, and this is a interesting little film more people owe it to themselves to check out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's worth at least a watch, I'd say.
I'm glad for the first time having both the ghouls on, I didn't pick something that you both thought was a stinker.
No. Tony and I have done a lot worse than this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of crap.
Okay, Nick, what do you gentlemen have coming up next?
Well, clearly tomorrow, Kevin Lambert's doing Fear the Wolf with American Wolf in London and in Paris, so I'll be on that stream. I'm not sure if Tony's on that one or Anthony. I'm sure you guys might be.
I'll be there.
I'm not going to be on it. I already told Kevin.
But for Ghouls of the Midnight, I made the pick for Disremembered, starring Angel Bradford for my pick, and then Tony's doing the reboot of The Toxic Avenger 2025, so I need to still watch that tonight. But those are our picks this week. Thursday, Silver Screen Savants. I'm catching up because Olvin was out last week, so we're going to be doing The Fog at 8 p.m. Eastern for a silver screen, and then later I'll be playing with Big Bad Wolf for a video game thing. Friday, I'm doing my Full Moon Mayhem. It's my own like special wolfy thing for the month, and I'll be reviewing 4 different films: Full Moon, Werewolves Within, Viking Wolf, Wolfen, and Full Eclipse. And then Saturday, Kevin again is doing a Fear of the Wolf with the Ginger Snaps trilogy, and then to go out to 8 o'clock at night for Savants, my pick. Monster Island. I think Tony is going to be on that one. That's the one that's kind of like the Creature from the Black Lagoon type thing.
Yeah. Well, I say yeah, but I don't know. I didn't watch it yet.
Neither have I, but that's what I've heard anyway. So.
I got Full Eclipse watched today, by the way.
Cool.
I'll be on that Ginger Snaps one. But
righteous.
I got the same thing as he said, except Thursday night I'll be on Sarah's channel on My Flock Everywhere at 7:20 Eastern Standard Time. 4:20 over there on the West Coast.
I was
Cool.
enjoying the discussion about AI music. So
Yeah. I didn't even know what we were talking about today. I thought we were just gonna like talk, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." I like get my stuff ready for that. That was nice promotion.
Okay. For myself, some of the stuff. Hold on.
oh,
Oh, okay.
And I'll be joining you Thursday for the Fog as well.
oh, cool, awesome.
Love that film, so I'm not going to miss a chance to talk about it. As for myself, some of the stuff Anubis mentioned, I'll be on his Friday stream. I'm also doing the one with Kevin Lambert for American Werewolf in London and American Werewolf in Paris. As well as I decided I'm contributing my own wolf themed to this month since we're all affiliated with Entertainment Headquarters. So I'm currently working on a short audio story about a camper who encounters a werewolf.
Oh wow, okay.
Well, I hope to have that finished by the end of the week and set up to premiere. It's like funny, like some of the little things you keep running in. Like I named my main character Richard, and another one of the characters is named Jack. And while I'm recording it, I keep calling Jack Richard, so I'm having to go back and go over it. But that's pretty much it. So I'd like to thank. Hold on. I just watched the. Oh, hey, Kenny, 525. Yeah, the remake really isn't that bad. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But again, for those watching at home, Olvin and Kenny 525, thank you for watching. For DJ Anubis and Mr. Tony of the Dead, thank you so much for joining this. I love doing the live streams, but I actually can't do these by myself. They won't be as fun. Like the way I look at whoever I have on with me, you guys aren't just my guests, you guys are my co-hosts to the show, so thank you for contributing. And
Of course.
for everyone else, enjoy the rest of your spooky season, and don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Over and out.
Spark plug.